Hey guys, welcome to Santa Clarita. It's a bit of a gray day out here, but good news is we thought it was going to rain and it has not. This is Justin, who has come all the way, San Jose?
Walnut Creek.
Walnut Creek, which is really like 400 miles away. So thank you so much for coming down.
Sir.
I really appreciate your time. After the GT350R video I aired, the biggest comment was, look, no one's getting the R, and I'm glad you're happy, but what about the base car? Because that's the car that people are actually going to take home. I thought that might happen, which is why I invited Justin down here like months ago. So this is a 2016 GT350, and it's the base car.
Base car, no Magna Ride.
No Magna Ride, no track pack.
No, but the seats.
Oh, it does have the
so
seats?
just no coolers, really. It's
okay.
the Magna Ride and the coolers.
And it has the Pilot Super Sport tires on the standard alloy wheels as well.
Correct. And
the non-adjustable suspension.
Right.
So, but it's got the motor, and that is the most interesting part of the story here. So the point of this video is going to be to see if this car satisfies the Shelby itch on the road. This has 295 fronts, 305 rears, right?
Correct.
So we're looking for a little bit less darty steering. Oh man, I haven't had the other Shelby for 2 weeks. I missed the engine already. So what led you to buy this car?
Well, I have a 2013 Boss 302, which I'm in love with. When I bought it, my wife and I said, we're never going to get a car for 45 grand. That's better than that. And then this came out, and I saw, base price, $49,000 before gas guzzler. I placed an order for the track pack, and then I got a phone call from a buddy of mine who found out that I placed the order on the track pack, and he said, hey Justin, the base car is actually going to be really special, and it's a great way to save $6,500.
Well, let's hear the motor real quick. Yep, motor's good.
Brakes are good.
Brakes are good.
Brakes are good. Yep.
All right, so the suspension, let me go right to that. It feels like halfway between the R and the base Mustang. So I feel, again, like I'm a little bit above the road. I'm not quite as hunkered down on it. But at the same time, you might have noticed in the R video that I was kind of bouncing around a little bit, and I'm not getting that here. And the pavement quality is around the same of this road to where I was before. And also the front end isn't darting around as much. The steering is a little more relaxed. So for a street car, you may have made the right move here, honestly.
I'm in love with it. When I picked it up at the rail yard, my guys let me pick it up at the rail yard.
That's so bold.
So it had 2.9 miles on it. I'm in this cool car club up in the Bay Area called the GTFO Squad. It's all GT Mustangs. And when they found out I could pick it up at the rail yard, everybody called their dealers and said, hey, can I pick up my GT?
And now they're like, why'd you tell anybody?
Yeah, so I got in trouble for that. But no, that was a great experience.
Well, truth be told, I only really want the R because it exists. You know what I mean? Like this car for a street car is awesome. The base suspension does really well. Of course, you get the same engine, so the specialness of the sound. You don't have a loud button though. In fact, your lower console is different.
Yeah, the lower console is different, and I have to access it through the steering wheel, and it's annoying and not as fun.
But it drives so good.
Yeah.
The power is so good, and it's got like a lot of finesse to it.
Yeah, I thought the Boss was amazing, but this is unfortunately.
This takes that formula to the next level.
It does. Yeah.
Have you done the clutch spring removal yet?
I did. Yeah. So I did the Steeda clutch spring, which is still embarrassingly light.
It's very, very light, but it is better than the stock R.
Better, but I get in the Boss and I think it's broken because it's so heavy.
Yeah, I definitely recommend anyone who has a Mustang in a manual to do that mod. Afterwards, after I drove the last Shelby, I went back to a modified GT. The Tremec gearbox. Once you drive with the Tremec, you cannot go back to the other gearbox. The only way it becomes like acceptable is if you do that MGW shifter mod,
right,
which really
guys
does
seem to
help.
love.
Look at that, bumpy under braking, but no issues.
Yeah, I thought the Boss was amazing, but this is unfortunately
Look at that, bumpy under braking, but no issues.
light years away.
Have you done the clutch spring removal yet? Oh, that's why.
That's why.
It's just a matter of context.
So you would be correct.
Yeah. But this car is like, it's such a good road car. Like, the people who say, you know, if you're driving on the road, you should just get the regular one, they're probably right.
In this case.
I'm a weirdo. Like, I can't, well, not a weirdo, but I can't, if I saw someone in an R, I'd be so jealous.
Yeah. I haven't even seen an R in person.
I love your shift light.
Oh yeah,
That shift light's on the windshield.
It starts at 5,000 RPMs.
Formula One style stuff.
Yeah, and that's the you have like 3 or 4 modes for that. It's really cool. It's really special.
I hope you don't mind that I'm just winding the snot out of your motor.
Please, it's a Mustang. That's what this thing's built for.
This car, God, these things are so fucking good.
They're fast too.
It is.
Yeah, it's much faster than the Boss.
It really comes alive up top, and you gotta keep it up there, you know. Does it feel around town a little slower than the Boss at the bottom?
Hell yes.
It does, right?
I've also had the Boss since birth, right? So for 3 years, and so I've learned how to launch that car.
Yeah.
And it's not fair necessarily because I've only had this since late December.
Well, the thing with launching these cars, which we talked about before, is if you launch it from a low RPM, it doesn't really have the power that you're looking for. If you launch it from a high RPM where the power is, it blows the tires right off.
Right.
But
you know, I found
can I do a launch? Do you mind?
Please.
Because I did one in the R, and the surface wasn't great.
Yep.
And I don't think it was fully representative. Plus, with those tires, if they're not already hot.
Yeah. No, you bogged pretty good on that video.
Well, it was just a slippery surface, honestly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's got the launch control button, and you know, I found 3,200, 3,400 actually isn't a terrible. I don't know at 56 degrees if that's going to be the right.
Did you you can program the launch control RPM, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Down to I think every hundredth. Yeah, which is nice.
Dude, the finesse.
I've never done launch control. I've always just launched it myself. So I'm interested to see how it works actually.
I sort of touched on it in the R review, and other journalists have touched on it as well, that this really does feel like a Mustang that you went to Porsche and you asked for their input. You know, it's the Mercedes 500e of Mustangs.
Right.
Where
Mustang budget.
Yeah, it feels like, you know, the proper motorsports people had a hand in it, you know?
Yeah, when I first got this, I actually didn't really like it because it was such a sports car.
Yeah.
And I was nervous that it wasn't going to be special. But then it's special, and you get out to a couple roads like this, and you're
it's special. I mean, especially up here.
Yeah.
If they had all the money in the world, which they did not, they were on a budget. I think they would have put a sharper steering rack in it, you know, to give you a little more feel. Let's do a launch. So,
cool.
First gear, launch mode active. Let's see how it hooks up. Well, it bogged a little bit because I dumped the clutch quick, but the Super Sports did hook up better. Like, see, the R spun the cups, and this bogged the Super Sports a little bit. Yeah. A couple practice runs, I'm sure you could launch it harder than I can, but this motor is just my favorite.
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, thank God for the flat plate crank.
I mean, where else, like, in a Mustang, like, I was just at 4,000 and felt the need to downshift. You know what I mean? Brought the revs up to 5,500. I mean, that doesn't happen with very many cars. It's usually only, you know, super exotic stuff where you're downshifting at 4,000.
Right.
And we've got a Sentra. That's okay. We're at the end anyway.
Cool.
But you know what? Those people who say the 350 is better on the road than the R are correct. The steering's a little more relaxed. The tires aren't as racy and a little more refined. And actually, the base suspension handles very well.
I can't believe you can save. You know, I wanted the seats, so I couldn't get tech pack.
No,
not that I wanted it.
You gotta get the seats.
Gotta get the seats,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna track it, so I don't need the extra cooling. I think. Who knows?
I think you'll be fine. I mean,
yeah.
we just ran it, you know, high RPM for 11 minutes, and it hasn't moved an inch.
Yeah.
Or an inch would be a lot. It hasn't moved anything.
anything.
But, you know, those people are right. I still want an R because it's the R. you know, because it's so nuts.
They're amazing.
And I think that if you can find one and afford one with magnetic ride, like, you probably should get it.
For sure.
Just because it exists, and that's so good. But
and resale.
Yeah, and resale as well. But you've done very well, Justin.
Thank
you for your time, and I really appreciate that you've come all this way. And
very cool.
Safe travels home. And thank you guys
Back to my buddies at GTFO Squad.
GTFO Squad!
Boom.
See you later.